Hello, all you fine-looking, funky, freaky miracles of recovery. And that's what we are. We are miracles. The sad fact is, most of the people that need a recovery program never find their ways to the door of a recovery room. They do not find out that you can live happily without drugs and alcohol. They struggle on as best they can until eventually they find themselves either in jail, in a mental institution, or sadly in the graveyard. You cannot live with untreated addiction. It always ends up in the three places I've just mentioned. But we, who are the miracles and have found our way to the doors, what do we do then? We can't live our lives alone. So we get into the rooms and we get, we get the information. But I'll tell you this, information alone will not keep you sober. I know, I've met people who have tried it. You cannot think your way into good living. You must live your way into good thinking. It's amazing how that works. And the trick is, how are we going to live? Now you're going to come to the rooms, you're going to start engaging with people. The most difficult thing you're going to do is to let down your guard and be vulnerable, because for God's sakes, every time we did that before in the past, we got hurt. So we ain't going to let anybody in. But unfortunately, that's the only way you're going to recover, is to let people in. And you start to get to know people and they start to get to know you. And you start to talk, and all of a sudden you start to give and get hugs. Ooh, somebody is actually reaching out to touch me. But after a while, if you give it a chance, you might find that you quite enjoy the hugs that you get from others, because they're true hugs. They don't want anything from you, they just want a hug. And that's all fine and dandy for the 6 to 8 hours you're in the rooms during the week, but what about all the other time? What are you going to do for the rest of the week? This is where the social aspect of recovery becomes so very important. A lot of people go to roundups. They'll drive miles and miles and miles to go to a roundup to hang around sober people. Or there are clean dances. You can go and you can actually experience a dance without having to be drunk or high. It's going to be difficult at times, because you got to ask somebody to dance without being medicated. You're going to have to risk rejection, and we don't like doing that. But you'll find that as you go, the odd rejection isn't going to kill you. Hell, maybe the woman's feet are just sore because she's already danced too much. God only knows. We stop taking things so personally. Everything is not a reflection of us. There are also community organized sober baseball games, sober soccer games, where you go and you hang out with sober and clean people and you do something that is not centered around drinking and using. Hell, there's even sober cruises. If you like to cruise, there's sober cruises. You can still enjoy doing the things you, well, I don't know if you were me, I never got off my ass and enjoyed anything. But say you should, enjoy things like cruising or skiing or stuff. You can find people anywhere that are sober that will do this with you. Maybe even get close to enough people that you might invite a bunch over for a night of board games, or even simply sitting around the fire in the backyard and talking. These are the things that you can fill the rest of your time with. Because I'll tell you this, I have discovered I am going to spend the rest of my life around alcoholics and addicts because I am one. My only choice is, do I hang around those that are drinking and using and maybe go on to where I'm in jail, in a nut house, or dead? With me it's more likely dead. Or do I hang around those that are sober and will help me to have a full and rich life by going out and doing things, bowling, playing cards, whatever, interacting and creating that community, that safe and sober community where we can together recover from our disease. You know, it is up to us. It is up to us to create this. Nobody's going to do it for us. So you have to decide whether you're going to be a little uncomfortable and reach outside yourself and connect with people, or whether you're going to isolate, be alone. And I'll tell you, you do that, it won't be long before you're back drinking or using. Another great way to connect with people is service work. Giving back to others with no expectation of anything for yourself. Volunteer to chair some meetings. Maybe take on a position at the group level. That will in turn hook you up with people that are in the community on a larger scale, because they get together and they talk about stuff. And God only knows, you might even go to a world convention and change your life by seeing actually how many people in this world are in recovery. And as you go, you create circles of friends, some acquaintances, some more close. But I'll tell you this, I have friends that I have had for over 23 years. That is a miracle in itself, because when I was drinking and using, I could usually be tolerated for around 6 months. By then I would have stolen too much, tried to sleep with too many guys' wives, or just generally made myself too much of an annoyance, and people wanted nothing to do with me, so I would move on. Now, one of the first men that I met, over 23 years ago, every time we see each other, we embrace and hug, and we know that we would do anything possible for the other in order to help them stay sober, or him or me stay sober. You can pick up the phone at 3 in the morning if you're in trouble and phone these people, and they will go, hang on, I'll be there soon. And they only do it because they love and because they're willing to help another suffering addict or alcoholic. Do not miss the chance to be part of this community. You will be amazed at your life as it grows and develops amongst others who are staying clean and sober. It is my deep wish that until we meet again, you will walk hand in hand with me and with your higher power as we go on into the future as sober, recovering people. Bless you all. Shalom.